Did you know that the director of JFK, Wall Street and Platoon got his start making one of the weirdest, wildest movies ever seen? That movie is Seizure. We're going to be talking about it on episode 2 of Obscurama. Let's have a little look. Hello, I'm Sam Ashurst and I'm the director of Frankenstein's Creature, of the upcoming A Little More Flesh, and I am your host for Obscurama, which is Channel Hex's regular look at some of the weirdest and wildest movies ever made. Now, as I explained in episode 1, all of these movies will come from the Psychotronic Encyclopedia of Film, so give episode 1 a little look if you want some more background about that amazing cult movie book. But today we are going to be looking at Seizure, which is Oliver Stone's debut film, and it is quite mad. The opening credits aren't quite as impressive as the last movie we looked at, and my version has the original title, so not Seizure. It was probably changed to avoid confusion with Queens of Evil, a film that has a woman firing a gun from her vagina. We'll probably cover that on Obscurama at some point too. But we fade into a picturesque scene during these credits. If I had to guess, I'd say this is a visual representation of someone waking up, of dawn breaking. There's a lot of dream stuff in this film, so that makes sense. And this calming image will operate in contrast to some of the madness we get later. Oliver Stone actually helped write this, he edited it and he directed it, but he's since distanced himself from it, so there's a good chance he didn't have as much control as it appears. This can sometimes be the case where a creator has his name all over something, but some unseen exec producer had the real control. We then cut to the most extreme reaction to being woken up I've ever seen. This is Edmund, and he's our hero. We get some more normalcy before a really concise bit of exposition.
How are you feeling?
I had the dream again.
Again? It's your heart.
So yeah, he's having a recurring bad dream, and he's got a bad heart. Alright, we've got it. That is information that we will need. A friend arrives to stay for the weekend, and we get this lovely shot. Look at that sky. I recreated this kind of colouring in my own 70s tribute, A Little More Flesh. Then we meet another couple who don't exactly have the best relationship.
Jesus. Don't eat that crap, you're getting fat. Why don't you shut up?
Now, Oliver Stone had problems with sleazy producers on this film, and I do wonder if this character is representative of those elements.
If your name is Rockefeller, $9.20.
Not Rockefeller. Hughes. Charles Hughes. Do you know what that means? You see that sign up there? I own 2% of that sign. That sign licenses you to sell gasoline. On Monday morning, that sign no longer licenses you to sell gasoline because I own 2% of that sign, which means I own 2% of you. I don't want my 2% of you, so I'm getting rid of it now. Do you understand what I mean?
We find out that Edmund's a horror writer, and we get a not so subtle bit of potential foreshadowing.
Well, endings are simple. Your character should either all perish or live happily ever after.
There is nothing subtle about this movie, which is one of the reasons I enjoy it. We get a bit more exposition through a news broadcast.
Local news today, the Joliet Psychiatric Institute reports the escape of 3 inmates, one of whom, Jezebel Joyce, achieved notoriety several years ago. First female professor of philosophy at Harvard University. In 1969, she was convicted of the widely publicized knife murder of one of her students. Descriptions of the other 2 escapees are not yet available. The 3 should be considered extremely dangerous, but police officials expect their recapture shortly. Weather tonight, thunder and possible showers.
Basically, this is the ordinary world section of the film. You can set a watch by it in most scripts. The first 20 minutes or so of every film is used to establish the environment and the characters before something happens around the 20-minute mark to completely change the dynamic and push the film in a different direction. Seizure actually mixes in a lot of unusual foreshadowing into this first 20 minutes, including a dream sequence Rob Zombie would be proud of, which leads to a fun scare. kid named Jason wearing a mask. You don't think this film influenced? No, let's not go into all that again. Speaking of horror, Edmund is out looking for the family dog. Look at that sun peeking through the trees. Again, something I tried to recreate in A Little More Flesh. Oh, and we get some more evidence that Uncle Charlie might be intended as a dig against sleazy producers.
You know, Frost, the one thing I never liked about you was the fact that you always looked down at me like I was some kind of an insect. Why? Because I made millions. But you love money as much as I do. The trouble is you don't know how to make it. All you know how to make is other men's wives and silly teenagers.
And there's an awkward dinner party. Before, bang on 20 minutes, we get our first attack.
No.
Now, right after that, we get some of the least comforting bedtime talk I've ever heard.
Are you scared?
Scared of what?
I don't know. You look scared.
I'm scared of something in me.
What does that mean?
It means I love you. I love you as much as Mummy.
You do?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Everyone settles down for the night before a nice musical sting connects an open door with a creepy shadow. And the kid finally reacts to what his dad said to him.
I'm scared.
Scared? Scared of what, darling?
I'm scared of Daddy.
It's becoming increasingly clear that this is a Freudian horror tale.
As if I'm dreaming everything.
Especially when things begin to go very David Lynch, starting with a woman who talks to her dead husband before bed. The husband replies, and we get a crazed dance sequence.
Do you see me? Yes. Yes, you do. It was the night we met. It was warm. It was spring. Remember?
Then a little person shows up in a red room. Yeah, nothing Lynchian about that. Then someone gets strangled on blue velvet. Hang on a fucking minute. There's some drama before our red room friend hops through a window and kicks off. One thing I like about this, it's not patronising in any way. There's no comedy about Hervé Villechaize's size. He's treated like a proper threat.
Look, you can't come breaking into people's houses like that. Who are you? What do you want? All right, if that's the way you want it. Come on, kid, let's take him.
He kind of looks like he knows what he's doing.
Because he is vicious. Hervé's friends show up, the tall black guy from the woods named the Jackal, and the blue velvet strangler, the Queen. And we get a great speech from Martine Beswick.
Don't ask us who we are or where we come from. We are without beginning or end. And our purpose, our only purpose, is death. You will do as you're told, though nothing will make sense. Some of you will seek an answer in what follows, and some of you will find it. But for the others, there will be darkness, damnation, and a meaningless death.
There's something very us about this movie, this threat that rises up from a metaphorical subconscious. Though I do prefer Seizure's non-existent internal logic. I'm sorry, Jordan Peele, I still love you though. Our heroes are made to race to the death, while Hervé nips off to show that Red Room woman her very worst nightmare. There's also something a little Nightmare on Elm Street about Seizure structure. These weird, surreal vignettes unleashed by carnal dream demons. And that's where I'm gonna leave this analysis, because after this point things do get a lot more crazy and there's so many potential spoilers. So I don't want to ruin the film for you. I want you to hunt it out for yourself. There is an excellent Blu-ray released by Scorpion Releasing in the States, so that's on Region 1. If you're watching this in America, then that's easy for you to hunt out. But yeah, that is it for this week. Thank you so much for watching, and please do subscribe to Channel Hex if you want more of this kind of thing, and please do, if you can, support us on Patreon. Yeah, we need all the help we can get in the pursuit of bringing you wild, wonderful, lovely, crazy movies that are going to change your life, whether or not that's stuff that we actually make ourselves at Hex, or whether that's stuff that I cover in this series. We need money to do this, so if you can, please do support us on Patreon. But yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you at the movies.